Welcome back to Cooper Creations. Since all of our kids are home, we've been cooking at home every single day. So I'm going to teach Alex how to make spaghetti sauce, meat sauce that can be used for spaghetti or sloppy joes or whatever, because he's wanting to learn how to cook. So one of these days he'll be on his own. All right, so here, Alex, we start with some olive oil. There's about, you told me to put like 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil in here. We're going to make a big batch. So we've diced up about a half a cup of onion and bell pepper. So we're going to saute that for just a minute until it kind of gets a little soft and translucent. And normally we would go ahead and cook these till they're nice and soft and then start with some tomato sauce. But we're going to do a meat sauce, so we're just going to dive right in and dump in 3 pounds of ground beef. You can add more onion and bell pepper if you like. I kind of play it by ear. But today we're just going to do all the meat in here. And we're going to get this all browned, and once this is all browned, we'll come back and show you what the next step is. We've been browning the ground beef. It's not completely cooked. There might be a little bit of pink, but that's okay. Okay, so the next step is to take a couple of cubes of beef bouillon. I'm using powder, like a tablespoon and a half maybe, and mix that in the meat and get that to cook. Just kind of incorporate that into the meat, gives it a nice deep flavor like you've been cooking it for hours and hours. Okay, then we're adding a bunch of spices. I've got some Italian seasoning. I sneak in turmeric anywhere I can. I've got cumin, I've got basil, I've got some celery salt in there, about a teaspoon of each. And we did some oregano, just anything that would make a good Italian spaghetti sauce. So we're just gonna kind of cook that for a minute, let it simmer. Now, the next step is adding the tomatoes. I would normally put tomato sauce, like 2 of the big cans of tomato sauce. I didn't have any. My daughter did not want chunky, so what I did is I had 2 cans of the 14.5 ounce stewed tomatoes, stuck them in here, took my immersion blender, and got them all nice and smooth. All right, so this is looking pretty good here. You need some seasoned salt. This is kind of to taste. I usually end up putting probably close to a tablespoon in here. It's a lot of meat. Once you add all that tomato, it takes a lot more salt than you realize. You can add less if that's your preference. It's up to you. You can kind of adjust at the end. If you like a little more, add some more. Okay, so we're going to put in the 2 14.5 ounce cans of stewed tomatoes that I've turned into a puree. Now we're going to let that simmer for a little bit and check the thickness. If it's too thick, I've got some water here I can add to make it thinner as we go. But we're going to sit this here and let this simmer for probably 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll be back to see what it looks like. Simmering the meat for 20 minutes. I tasted it. Everyone in the house tasted it. We agreed it needed garlic. So I put a teaspoon of garlic salt in there because it needs a little salt too. And now we all agree that it's perfect. So it's ready. We think we're going to do sloppy joes tonight. You can serve this over pasta. You can serve it over corn chips and make nachos. You can put meatballs in there and make meatball subs. So just enjoy it any way you want. Until next time, you gonna do the dance, Alex?
No, hold on.
Until next time, thank you for watching Cooper Creations.